intelligentsia of our continent are called upon to do. Our efforts will amount to nothing. We would have failed our countries, would have failed our continent if we are not at the forefront of generating knowledge and also drawing from indigenous learning and knowledge. We must cultivate a generation of forward-thinking leaders. We should not allow ourselves to become hostages of the different spaces on the African continent that we happen to occupy. We must reach out to each other and come together.
Wow, what a wisdom speech from President Duma Gideon Bok. My dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, do not skip the video. I'm here to share this powerful speech made by the President of Botswana, President Duma Gideon Boko in Zambia. So the full speech is coming, but this is one of the best speech made by the President of Botswana. So join with me in this time where we're going to hear the wisdom words and powerful message from the President of Botswana, President Duma Gideon Boko. You are welcome.
Mr. President, my dear brother, President of the Republic of Zambia, let me acknowledge you with warmth and gratitude. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Zambia, Mulambu Haimbe, the Minister of International Relations, Republic of Botswana, Dr. Penyo Gutale, ministers from both countries here present, and I was complaining earlier that each time I've been here, there's one particular minister who is a friend of mine whom I worked with at the SADC Parliamentary Forum and whom I keep missing. And so I've requested that I be brought into contact with the Minister of Finance, Dr. Musokotwane. High Commissioners of our two countries, permanent secretaries, senior government officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
While we are extremely happy to be here, we do not forget that we are two nations in mourning. Zambia has lost its sixth president. Botswana recently lost its Minister of Lands and Agriculture, whom we will bury this Sunday. Reflexes of grief might have conspired to keep us away from each other, but we've managed to accept that we are grieving, but also to continue the efforts that those who have fallen, would have wanted us to continue to pursue. So I extend my sympathies to the Republic of Zambia and the people of Zambia. I must thank you for your hospitality. We have two countries that have worked together, have related, and that relationship is a chronicle of deep friendship, deep connections, deep affinities. we are here to strengthen this relationship. It is rooted in history, a shared destiny. We drink from the well springs that shaped the Lozi, the different tribes and nations that make up the state of Zambia, and the different tribes and nations that have come together, become somewhat homogeneous in Botswana to form the government, the state of Botswana. We have borders that separate us, but borders that should not keep us away from each other. We should not allow ourselves to become hostages of the different spaces on the African continent that we happen to occupy. We must reach out to each other and come together. We have elevated our relationship, our bilateral cooperation, from the level of the Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation to a binational commission. This is very important. It marks a growth, a step of advance in our relationship. It reflects our shared commitment to promoting high-level dialogue, monitor implementation of bilateral agreements, facilitate the alignment of policies and priorities between our two nations, and to deepen ties across multiple sectors. The BNC is therefore to all of us a call to action. It affords us an opportunity to reflect on the progress we've achieved thus far, while confronting the challenges that remain. We must use this moment to ensure that the decisions that we take here today translate into concrete, measurable outcomes that bring tangible benefits to the lives of our citizens in the areas of trade, infrastructure development, energy, agriculture, education, tourism, and security, to mention just a few. Mr. President, let me take a moment to commend the completion of the Kazungula Bridge and associated one-stop border post. This bridge extends far beyond its magnificent and imposing physical structure. It is a powerful symbol of effective cooperation and a shared vision in advancing connectivity and sustainable development by easing any strictures on the movement of people and goods along the north-south corridor. And it fully attests to what we can accomplish when we work together with purpose and unity. Much remains to be done, though, and this inaugural BNC provides a strategic platform to think boldly and act decisively in advancing our shared commitment to infrastructure development, trade facilitation, and regional integration. Consequently, at the heart of our agenda should be a renewed and purposeful commitment to the broader commitments and objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area, centered on transforming the continent into a single integrated market to foster sustainable economic development, boost intra-African trade, promote industrialization and value addition, attract investment, enhance regional competitiveness, and support inclusive and sustainable development. Furthermore, the effective and sustainable management of our shared resources, most notably the Zambezi River, requires the same coordinated and forward-looking approach that ensures equitable access and long-term sustainability. It is our collective responsibility to safeguard these vital natural resources for the benefit of generations present and generations yet to come, while harnessing the potential to drive inclusive and sustainable socio-economic development. Mr. President, our agenda must also prioritize our most valuable resource, our youth. We must promote youth empowerment and equip young people with relevant skills that prepare not just them, but our countries for the demands of the fourth industrial revolution. If we do so, we will ensure our competitiveness in a rapidly changing world, and we will also unlock the potential of our youth as drivers of innovation, productivity, and sustainable development. Often when the knowledge economy is mentioned, the assumption, and indeed the practice, is that we will consume knowledge generated elsewhere, in the production and development of which we've played absolutely no role. Mobilizing the marauding energies and intellectual capabilities of our young people enables us to also play our part in contributing to the storehouse of knowledge from which the whole world must benefit. We must also contribute to the best that is thought and known by the world, and we can do so if we deploy the energies and capabilities of our young people. And we must do this through joint initiatives in education, entrepreneurship, and innovation. We must cultivate a generation of forward-thinking leaders, innovators, and change makers. This must, in a sense, serve as a jailbreak of the imagination. We need to break out of the frozen crust of practices that have worked at certain times but have become outdated. We must now develop rapidly on the trot styles and practices of operating that are new, some of which are radical, in response to the context-bound predicament that we all face. We must deploy context-smashing ideas and potentialities. This is what all of us, the intelligentsia of our continent, are called upon to do. Our efforts will amount to nothing. We would have failed our countries, would have failed our continent if we are not at the forefront of generating knowledge and also drawing from indigenous learning and knowledge. And in this regard, we have our sages in our villages, our wise people, who are our libraries in relation to indigenous knowledge. We need to be able to tap on that wisdom and mobilize the potential. And so we need joint capacity building initiatives. We need to share information. We need policy harmonization between our countries. And our cooperation must yield tangible outcomes that we now must begin to measure and account for to our principals, the ordinary people who look to us for solutions to the trenchant problems that trouble them on a daily basis. Let me conclude by reaffirming Botswana's unwavering commitment to this strategic partnership between Botswana and Zambia. We look forward to deepening this collaboration for the prosperity of our two nations, the broader advancement of the agenda, and the prosperity of the Southern African Development Community, and indeed of the entire African continent. This is a propitious moment in time, moment in history. And as the great saying goes, in relation to a moment as propitious as this one, the ancient Romans said, "Carpe diem," seize the moment. Let us seize this moment. Let us act. Let us take strides, bold, confident strides into a future that is spectacularly different from what we've seen thus far. Thank you very, very much. It humbles me to be here with you today and to take part in this important gathering. Thank you very, very much. Intelligentsia of our continent are called upon to do. Our efforts will amount to nothing. We would have failed our countries, would have failed our continent if we are not at the forefront of generating knowledge and also drawing from indigenous learning and knowledge.
Yes, welcome back, dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. That is the president of Botswana, President Duma Gideon Boko. It's my hope that you heard a lot from President Boko, but one thing or few things that I want to share is the issue of generating new leadership. President Boko has insisted that the time for Africans or African continent to generate new leaders, leaders who are innovators, leaders who are creative, not lead as just a leader. We need leaders who are creators, innovators. We need new ideas. That's what I think President Duma Gideon Boko meant in his statement. Also, President Boko spoke on the issue of indigenous knowledge. You know, this thing of thinking that Africans or ways of doing things maybe is something we call witchcraft. We are trying to find a bad name to name our own things. But President Duma Boko has said we need to tap knowledge from indigenous. And, you know, have an example in terms of these things, the way we are doing things. The Chinese are very clever. The Chinese, they have their own traditional ways of doing things. Even food, they have their own traditional food. They maintain their own traditional way of doing things. But also, they have these, what you call modern things. Even if you look in medicine, they're doing the same. They have indigenous medicine, and also they have modern medicine, or this industrial medicine or chemical industry. You can see. But Africans, we have left our own indigenous ways of doing things. And yet, we think we can become creative by learning from other people. That cannot come true. What others are doing, they have their own indigenous ways of doing things. What they do, they develop or they had something in the indigenous ways of doing things and made them modern. But Africans, it is totally different. I think President Boko has asking to tap and to use indigenous knowledge. If you look leadership, before Africans, we have our own leadership or governance systems. When the colonizers came, they changed and they bring something new, colonial rules. And right now we have those things. You know, you may ask yourself, why African continent has resources, has everything, but African nations are still poor? We can come here and lament about leadership and whatever, but what kind of leadership we have? We have inherited colonial systems that are always there for exploitation, for the benefit of minority, not for majority. And that's why today we are here. Sometimes we lament that we have everything, but we are still poor. We are not benefiting from our natural resources. We cannot add value. It's because of we are not generating new leadership, new ideas. We are copying from others and pasting. And we think something that is working good in America, in Europe, in China can work good here in the continent of Africa. Those are different environment. So President Boko has insisted the need of using indigenous knowledge and indigenous way of doing things. Also, the issue of borders, President Boko has explained very well that we don't need borders. We need to allow people to move from one place to another. We should not be held by these colonial boundaries. So even President Ichilema has spoken that issue, that we need to work together. But all in all, the aim of this special visit, or this state visit of President Boko to Zambia, is to strengthen ties between the two countries, Zambia and Botswana. So this is a good move. We have seen President Boko visited several countries in southern part of the continent, and some of them calling him the Traore of southern Traore. But all in all, he's doing very well. He's trying to unite, to bring people together. Leaders in the southern part must come together, unite. We have seen President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah of Namibia. She's doing very well. President Akainde Chilema, and all leaders, some leaders are doing very well. Not all, but some of them, many of them, let me say that like that, many of them are doing very well. So we need to see one day SADC as a bloc, as single currency, has single Hansen, they have their own currency, their own president, single president. We wish to see something like that. Maybe that's why President Boko has asking, maybe in different ways. But all in all, what the people of Africa are waiting to see is a united Africa. It's my hope that one day we'll see a united Africa, the Africa that is so united, the Africa that will speak with one voice. Dear lovely family, friends, if you have something new, you want to share something different from what you heard from President Gideon Boko, please you may do so through the comment section. And it would be better if you can share this video to other Africans here in the continent and to those who are also in the diaspora. My dear lovely family, have no more to share from there. The aim is to share this good and wisdom words from the President of Botswana, President Gideon Boko. The time for Africa to come together, to unite, is now. Let us come together, let us unite, let us support one another, let us make sure that we speak with one voice so that we can become respected by the rest of the world. After that, dear lovely family, let me say thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.